Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. I have Santaluces High School here. Now, if you've been following me for a little while, you'll know that I've critiqued this high school many times because one of the cadets has sent in video after video because the battalion really wants to get as good as possible. They want that feedback. So, and I really appreciate it. So, this is the color guard, obviously. Hawk Battalion color guard, that's good. I can see here we have good grips. You've got the cases. So one of the first things that you should do when you fall in is check your spade. Now you've got the case on there, but yeah, you can see it. So, but the spade, when you fall in, you should just look up really quickly, make sure that spade is flat, or to avoid looking up when you fall in, you get that spade marker and put it on there. Now, the older style is to put a thumbtack into the wood, and that's been a tradition for, holy cow, decades and decades. It was a tradition well before I became a cadet. Started probably after World War II, and then and it's still in the Marine Corps order. Not written anywhere else, but it's really good to have something that you can put your fingers on. You can feel there really quickly, and then also so a thumbtack on this side, and then a thumbtack on this side so that you can see it. Now, the issue with putting a thumbtack there is the different height cadets and the hands that are up and down the staff there as you hold it at order like this. So there's one of the suggestions I have had put forth to me, and I like, is to put a little moleskin, just a tiny strip of moleskin, maybe an inch long. Moleskin kind of looks like the staff, so it's less noticeable. The thumbtack is silver, and it goes along with the metal parts of the staff. So, totally your choice. However, before we start, and I'm sure I've told you before, I can't stand these harnesses. So, and that's just personal preference. You can use them; that's no problem. But this is my favorite. And they're getting more expensive now. Everything's more expensive, unfortunately. But the harness that has all four of the attachment points into the socket frame here, they're just terrible. And those plastic cups are awful as well. And I much prefer this over anything else that's out there. So. And then one thing I got to say before we get started is that hopefully you're marching the AJROTC flag and not the state, but your harness socket here for the U.S. color bearer is lower, so technically that could be a disqualification point for the judges. Now and I know I'm rambling a little bit, but just making sure you're aware. I've discussed this with other people who have judged, and they've said that they would just say, "Get off, you're disqualified," and go. But I would suggest to any judges out there that you actually let the team go through the performance, score them, give them feedback, write things down that are necessary, and then when they finish, go up to them and say, all right, so because of this situation right here, just this, you're disqualified, but here's your feedback. I think that would be better. It's more of an educational process, and the cadets can get on with their performance. So, but you need to pay attention to this. Guards, this is your job. Now, obviously, the commander of the color guard is in charge of everything and needs to make sure that everything is squared away. But guards, you should stand out in front of both the color bearers and go, wait a minute, hold on. That harness socket is lower. Hold my rifle. We're going to adjust that socket. And these are both too high anyway. The socket, the training circular says that the socket is supposed to be below waist level. And that is so, and it depends. You know, a lot of people will wear their trousers so that the waist is right on the hips instead of slightly above, which is where your natural waist level is, just below the belly button. So, and then it's higher. No, it's lower on females, higher on males. I think that's it. Yeah. Anyway, but you know, 4 males on the team, and so he looks to be wearing his trousers just right at the hip level, whereas he's wearing them just above. So this is a more what I consider natural. It's not that it's unnatural to wear your trousers this low. It's just not as comfortable for me, and that's a personal preference. So that's no big deal. However, the point is that both of these harness sockets are much too high, and they need to be lower. All right. Hi, Max. Hi, good boy. All right. Let's get through this. Let's go back over. Carry colors. So, rifles, as you're coming up, I can see that elbow gap here. Elbow needs to be along the rifle, okay? The right elbow needs to be brought along there. Let's go back. This is probably going to be a little long. Kind of a weird day for internet at my house. 3rd time that's happened, and I've not even been watching video. All right, don't reach across, color bearers. That's not a technique. All right, when you are given carry colors, what you're going to do is, you know, you can't see my hand if I have it down properly. So you're going to give the command there. So pretend that my hand is cupped over here. This is my hand over here on the staff. Carry colors. You're going to lift. Left hand comes across, grabs the ferrule, the lower ferrule, and then guides the. I usually take my pinky and put it on the socket. And what I don't want you to do is grab this and then try and put it the ferrule into the socket. I want you to bring that hand to the socket, at least have your pinky touching, and then guide that ferrule into the socket. But reaching across first and then bring it up, that's not the technique. You have to lift and then bring in. And if you're trying to go for the lift of say present guide on, this is, you know, raised guide on and then going to, because guide on staff and flag staff are very similar in many instances. It's just that there's a difference between guide on and flag staff. So and this would be one of the differences. You don't do that with the colors. So I'm sorry for the pause here. Wait patiently. Boy. So, one more time, just let it play from now on. And you looked down as well. See, sorry, I can't let it play. With you holding the staff with both hands, then you're not able to find the harness socket, and you're looking down. Looking down is not the technique. You're at attention. The only thing that should be moving is both of your arms as you bring it up, and you're supposed to look straight forward the entire time. I apologize for the pause there. I really have no idea what's going on. Is this really, really, really early in the morning, I wonder? So make sure that your wheels are 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So your wheels are about 10 counts or so. Make sure they're 8. You need to make it a little faster. Now you can make it in 6 steps. Actually, you could probably make it in 4. And so, sorry, got to stop and talk again. So 8 counts to make that 90-degree turn. And every single time you call, left wheel, march. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Forward, march. Just like that, as quickly as that. The more time you spend marking time is the more time that the team has to make a mistake and have the judges catch it. But if you make that transition through the wheel and then forward march right after, you'll be and if you make it consistent, that's the key here, is consistency in your wheels. If you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and eventually you call forward march, and it's different each time, then you have a certain unknown that's going to happen, and the team isn't really solid and set in what they're going to do. So, and then we have the big head move there by right rifle guard. So as you came to the port position, you went like this. Now, it wasn't that exaggerated. That's just for my demonstration purposes. But you really need to pull that hand towards you just a bit to rock the rifle off, then bring it to the port position, come up, grab, and then place. And both of you are doing okay. He's right on the top of the belt, which is sitting on the hip, and that's where you're supposed to have the butt of the rifle. It needs to be on the hip and not on the abdomen. Okay, and it might be a kind of semantics there, but it looks like both of you are. Oh, good, no pause. And that just really wasn't that wasn't synchronized. So, and which leads me into, it's not supposed to be synchronized. It was never intended to be synchronized. However, this is competitive color guard, and the competition has to sling arms and then unsling. Well, actually, it's not unsling, it's tighten slings. Unsling is order with a loose sling. So going to sling and then tightening slings, it's all been meticulously detailed out. And even though that's not supposed to be the technique, it still happens. So competitive AJROTC color guard, all right, we're just going to take it as it needs to be synchronized, which means every single count, you come to port, you place the rifle, you start manipulating the sling, and it's undo the clasp, slide up, out, do the clasp, stick that arm through, and bring it around. Now, I've seen where there's a grasp here and then placing it. I don't appreciate that at all. I will judge it as it's presented when I'm going to judge. I don't like to teach that, and there's schools that I've taught, they still will do that placement like that with the right hand down on the rifle. Fine. There's in the training circular, even in the Marine Corps order, it doesn't say exactly how you're supposed to do it, because it's supposed to be an individual thing. Get that sling loosened, and then once you're there, and that's it, really. So was that a face-in march? No, it was more of just kind of a body turn. You didn't really pivot. So guards, you have to execute a face-in march. Good that the staff is underneath the armpit. Good unrolling, unfurling, that works well. However, you're okay. So you have a 3x4 U.S., but you have a 3x5 Florida. You need to, boy, you need to order a 3x4 Florida. Actually, carry your AJROTC flag. That's really the only flag that you should be using, technically. Now, so I'll make a note of the JROTC and the state flag. I wrote an article about that as to why JROTCs carry the state flag at competitions. It's kind of sort of understandable, but not really. But that only leads to JROTCs thinking that they can carry the state flag in every other ceremony, and that's, I mean, only it's the American in the state, not the American, the JROTC in the state. And the AJROTC is the only flag authorized for Army JROTC. So you really should have that. Both flags should be 3x4. Again, this is, in my view, as head judge of the color guard competition right here, I'd disqualify you on both of those counts. You have a larger flag than the U.S., and the U.S. is sitting lower at carry. So that's two things that you've got going against you. So sorry, I'm trying to, I just want to make sure that I'm seeing the staff. Oh, all right. It's just shadow. Yeah, you've got the correct equipment there, the correct staffs. It's just that, that American flag is the smaller of the two, and the Florida being really large. So, make sure that you're tucking like this. This is tucked. You're supposed to tuck the case into the belt, just like this. If you're going to do this, which I think you're doing, this is draped over. This isn't tucked, it's draped. So you have it, okay, so you have it tucked, but it looks like this. So it's not even. And the strings, so the strings are hanging down. It really needs to be as squared off and centered, on the belt as possible, and look as neat as possible. Tuck those. Put the strings at the top. Tuck the strings in to the case, and make sure that that's the technique. Nice straight arm. I didn't catch if you raised on present, arms, and then out. Order. Arms, you go back and then slide down. Thumb needs to be wrapped, so there's also semantics about, or an argument really about the thumb, whether you're going to thumb a ride or whether you're going to wrap it. Just wrap it. It's I've written about that too, a study of present arms, and I'll link that below. But left guard, your left hand is too high. I could see that as you went to present, as you were dropping the rifle, what you did is you held the rifle here, and then you dropped and let the rifle slide through, keeping your left hand pretty much in the same position. So see how your forearm isn't horizontal, and here as well. So that means the rifle needs to be lower. Unless your arm, so this is our right guard here is a little bit shorter, actually an entire head shorter, so about a foot shorter than left guard. So left guard, you really need to drop that left hand. Left hand looks like it's in the correct position. But then, being of shorter stature, or shorter torso, that means the front sight will not be at eye level. And it looks like front sight is below eye level for left guard. So there's a lot of things working here that are, that are not precise. So left guard needs to rework present arms.
Seminole Community High School, Army
So the throw out, I call it the throw out. So they're at present, both the guards, and then the command is order arms. And it shouldn't be order arms. It is, and I've written about that too. It's a long story. Anyway, so they're at present. Order arms, port, reach, I'll pull this out, reach down, and then place the rifle like that. What, at least the left guard, I'm going to rewind and watch this, but at least the left guard went out, and then, let me show you from the side. Went out, and then the whole rifle went in like this, and not just... See how my right hand is staying in place and the rifle is just moving? That's what should be happening. But he will... Port. Do you see how it comes out with that right hand? Shouldn't do that. That means the right elbow is coming forward. I'm going to watch right rifle guard here. So much less pronounced. All the right rifle guard did was come up from the port, going through from port position with the right hand on the buttstock, and then coming up to a little bit too high actually. So that hand needs to come down, and then shoulder or elbow tucked back there to the side. So you're flanking through the colors reverse instead of a face-in march. I guess I'm just not going to... I mention it to teams. Little bit of sagging and weaving there as the team comes through the wheel. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, even 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm counting. So it was. That's interesting. You stayed. You didn't give forward march. So the colors reverse. It's a series of faces and marching, and it's not supposed to be flanks. The only one that does a flank, which is actually also a face and march, is the right rifle guard doing the left flank. That is actually a face in march while marching. So why did you bring? So you're at carry. You have your right hand at mouth level. Left hand is on the harness socket. Why did you bring the left hand up higher and then bring the staff out? That really doesn't make a lot of sense. So what I'm going to do here, without putting a hole in my ceiling, all right, so I'm going to go a lot smaller so you can see this. Oh, not Air Force, Army. All right, so for your technique here, order, arms, out. Well, if you can see here, I'll lower just a bit. So order, arms, coming out and then down. That is, it's smoother. It makes much more sense. Instead of lifting the left hand to bring the staff out, it really doesn't make all that much sense to lift that left. Good. Guards, did you slide your hands up? It looked like you did. So don't. Wherever. Yeah, you did, because now I can see the big bend in the elbow on the rifle. And usually when I'm standing at attention, this is about where my hand is, with this one at least. About there, something like that. Going to parade rest, coming back to attention. You don't slide it up underneath the stacking swivel, or or higher, whatever. You don't slide it at all. So here, grab, and back. That's it.
Right wheel, mark.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. More of a 12 there. Even though, and you could see, it looks like you're doing about 10 steps, but the team was still moving into place even as the command forward march was given there. So, and let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. See the slight movement. It's just slight. So you have much better spacing and alignment on right wheels. It's left wheels that you really need to practice.
Right. Ready. Front. Left wheel. March.
So that the state flag, which should be the AJROTC flag, really needs to pop out. Eyes right. Ready, front. It's got to come back. Well, sorry. Eyes right, pop. That's it. Eyes right, pop. Ready, front, back. It needs to be one count. It looks, actually it looks poor, but that's the technique. And because it looks poor, that's why the honor guards don't do that. They use the 3 count technique. Yeah, the spacing really iffy through there.
Cadet, requesting permission to leave your protocol area, cadet. Thank you, cadet. Order, arm.
And the elbow, even for left rifle guard, is coming out, going back to shoulder.
Reset, arm. Order, arm. Case, colors.
Good salute technique there, guards. So do you see how left rifle guard is reaching over like this? You should be, both guards should be centered on the flag as they come in. So and there's a much better technique to use for this, and I'm so glad you didn't do it. So and technique really needs to be mirror image of each other. Here, the opening of the case, left guard had to turn it around, let it hang down. The other guard didn't let it hang. Everything needs to be synchronized and the same movement. Good job going back into the socket. Good. Yeah, left guard is more on his abdomen. It needs to be over on the hip with the rifle butt. Yeah, I would highly suggest going with 8 counts.
March.
One of the things on the colors reverse, whether you're going to do flanks or faces in marching, you don't take half steps all throughout the movement. Right rifle guard, case in point. As you come back into line, you're half stepping up. Let's go back to right here. No more pausing. That's nice.
Colors reverse. March.
See, you're more half stepping than anything else. Half stepping across and then half stepping up, going back in, and it should be. There's a mix of half steps and full steps, and I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I've been working on other stuff, so.
Colors. Rest.
Okay. You're welcome for watching. So, thanks. I appreciate it, and I'm glad of the request. It's an 8-minute routine, and I've spent a half hour critiquing on it. So I hope it's helpful. Thanks, Austin team. I appreciate it.